will probably be at 20 or 21, maybe even $22 trillion of investments coming into our country.
Trump's not playing games anymore. Welcome back to Moose and Loose. My name's David. Today we've got Donald Trump calling out Mark Carney to his face during a roundtable dinner in South Korea with all these Korean leaders there. We've got a bunch of other stuff here. Let's jump into this. Starting this one off in the House.
Canadians cannot afford a 10th costly budget that drives up the price of groceries and housing. What they need, in fact, is an affordable budget for an affordable life. This prime minister, though, has driven up the cost of the bureaucracy, the consultants, and therefore inflation, so Canadians are paying more for everything. We have put forward common sense proposals to make life more affordable, like eliminating all the hidden taxes on food. Will the prime minister put partisanship aside and work with us on an affordable budget for an affordable life?
So affordability, that will be what the next election will be about. And we've got this one from Fred Delory. He's a regular on CBC, who I recently blasted because I was not in favor of his takes. But he's got this article here saying, we're headed to an election. Stop pretending we're not. This was posted today. It says this parliament is 5 months old and barely circling the drain. The Liberals will table their budget on November 4th and it's going to fail. Not because of scandal or surprise, but because the math, the momentum, and the mood have all turned. Even the government's own House Leader, Steve McKinnon, said is already setting the stage, accusing the opposition of being cavalier with the country's future, the warning you give when you know what's coming. We still don't know what the NDP is going to do, because that's what it comes down to. But with all this in mind, we've got some new polling data on housing. We've got this among Canadians who don't currently own a home. 65% aspire to own a rental property in the future. Over half of Canadians, 54%, say home ownership is important to them. That's not really the full story. I mean, all of these ones here are people who want home ownership. The only one it's not important is 11%. So really, 89% of Canadians want home ownership, at least somewhat important. This one here, 60% of first-time home buyers have adjusted their expectations, often planning for a smaller home, a different type of home, or a less desirable location than they hope for. Canadians are making concessions. Canadians are having to give up what they really want in life. I say that as I sit in a house that leaks every winter because it's made of logs. There's literally no insulation. There's actually insulation right behind me, this area here, this room I'm in, but the rest of it is actually a panabode log house. So in the winter, tar leaks through the walls, down on the inside of the walls. I would love to move somewhere else nicer, but that's not going to happen. So I heavily relate with this. 60% of Canadians having to make concessions because our government is running us into the ground. Many first-time home buyers are willing to compromise to make home ownership possible. We're seeing here a smaller home, 49%. Co-buying with family, 32%. An older home needing work. What happened to Canadians being able to have the Canadian dream? The white picket fence, that's all gone. It's long gone because the bankers, the WF elite, the Liberals, and anyone that the Liberals empower are getting stinking rich off of our backs. They keep printing money, they devalue Canadian dollars, they're jacking up inflation, and Canadians are getting poorer. 2 in 5 Canadians, 39%, have cut back spending to afford housing. 1 in 4, 27%, have downsized expectations, and 1 in 5 have delayed major life milestones. This is what's happening in Canada. I didn't have kids because it was too expensive. Then I got a divorce, so it worked out. But I mean, Canadians are changing the fundamentals of what life was before to accommodate the Liberals' outrageous spending. They're bankrupting all of us. We also got this story here. I brought this up maybe a couple days ago. The $4.9 million refund that the CRA wrongfully just sent to a company. Well, it turns out they sent it to a company earning just $300K. CRA officials refused to reveal what level of refund triggers human review. Clearly, it's not $5 million. Some random company in Canada got sent $5 million of taxpayer money. The CRA didn't even know about it until the bank flagged it.
What is the human and computer threshold to audit, to look at an audit? What's the number? Is it 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million?
There are multiple business lines. So we have, for instance, individual income tax, corporate income tax, excise tax, and so on. We are not providing the thresholds because that would be giving fraudsters a recipe for trying to defraud the government. And
look at this first comment. So some a-hole got 4.9 million and I'm being audited for rolling over last year's medical expenses. What an absolute joke. CRA is a fraud. Our country's a joke. Liberal voters have put us in this position. Speaking of Liberal voters, what we've got here, Mark Carney over over in Singapore. Nice little flashy reel here of him trying to sell Canada to the world. This isn't going so well for Mark Carney, though. We've got this article from Brian Lilly. He says he broke this juicy little story yesterday. But apparently, Pete Hoekstra, Donald Trump's ambassador to Canada, started throwing F-bombs and swearing at Doug Ford's international relations guy. Doug Ford was questioned about this. What a weird answer.
Globe and Mail has a piece that speaks about Ambassador Hoekstra, to use a blunt phrase, cursing out your Ontario representative in the United States at a meeting. What do you say to that? This was related to your advertisement related to Donald Reagan.
Yeah.
What's your response to Ambassador Hoekstra's words?
Come on, Ambassador. He's a guy. You know something? I like him. Pete, you got to call Dave up and apologize. It's simple. You know, the cheese slipped off the cracker. I get it. You're ticked off. But call the guy up because you're a good guy, and Dave's my champion. The guy is just instrumental in these trade deals down in Washington. And, you know, something people get hot. They get heated. I get heated sometimes. But just call the guy up and bury the hatchet. Because the ambassador's a good guy, actually. I love Dave. I like the ambassador, so he knows what to do. Come on, Pete, you've been around for before Moses. Call the guy up and apologize. Let's start getting back on track.
What a statement. He's been around before Moses. Doug Ford loves to use this saying, the cheese slipped off the cracker. I bet the cheese has actually slipped off of his cracker. We also got Doug Ford being asked about whether Mark Carney saw the ad. This whole situation with the ad is ridiculous. Whether they copied China, they worked with China, who knows? But Doug Ford admits that Carney was in the room. They watched it together.
Reagan ad. How do you know the Prime Minister and his Chief of Staff saw this particular ad before you moved ahead with airing it?
I was with him.
He goes on to ramble, but we're moving on to this here. So Donald Trump and Mark Carney, both in South Korea, both sitting at the same table. This is very awkward. Donald Trump posting this. For those that are asking, we didn't come to South Korea to see Canada. We've got this one here, sitting across from each other in South Korea. So the media says here they didn't expect this to be such a small table. Only 8 guests. Here we have Donald Trump finalizing deals with South Korea for $350 billion.
Announcing he's finalized details of a trade agreement with South Korea following his meeting with the president there. And now our president says that he's confident he can strike a deal with Chinese leader Xi in their high-stakes meeting that will happen later tonight. Lucas Tomlinson on the road today in South Korea. Lucas, hello there.
Well, good morning, Bill. President Trump has arrived here in South Korea with all the pomp this country can muster, including fighter escorts, the red carpet. And just moments ago, President Trump announcing that the U.S. and South Korea have inked a $350 billion trade agreement. Of course, the United States is South Korea's second largest trading partner. And
now listen to this here. Look what South Korea did. They rolled out the red carpet for Trump to secure this deal. They're not messing around here. They know how to get a deal.
Part of the pomp are some gifts. And check this out, Dana. President Trump receiving, in essence, the crown jewels, this crown and necklace, the highest award South Korea can muster, and President Trump is the first American to receive it. And Trump says the trade deal has been reached, and it'll be a grand total of some $20 trillion investment from around the world in the president's first term. Here's the president earlier.
I figure that will probably be a 20 or 21, maybe even $22 trillion of investments coming into our country by the end of the first year of my second term.
This is outrageous. Trump striking deals everywhere. They literally gave him the crown jewels here, sealed the deal, and what's Mark Carney doing? This loser's getting nothing done. He's pushing out his net zero agenda. He's fleecing taxpayers, but he's getting rich while Canada crumbles.
And part of that is the national security, given to us by the tariffs, properly used tariffs, very properly used. And other countries, as you know, have used them against us, but we never chose to use them very much. And we should.
He's sticking it right to Carney, right to his face. I'll show you here in a second. There's a challenge going out to Canada to drop all tariffs on America and have full free trade. And Donald Trump's calling out Carney to his face in South Korea on this. Probably most notably the dairy cartel, all that kind of crap. We can check the exact numbers on this tarifffinder.ca. This is a government website that you can check the tariffs on any product. In this case, you are importing to Canada from the United States. And then I put in dairy here. You hit find. This will bring up results. I did a video on this a while ago, although I guess my subscriber numbers here have doubled since then. Oh, with that, I was finally able to get my silver play button here, which you can see. Big big thanks to everyone. This means a lot. Ever since I had my other channel deleted, you can see the size difference here. They made these things a lot smaller, and this is a lot dustier. I greatly appreciate the support here. When I had my other channel deleted, never thought I would go on to make a political channel that would be the most watched in Canada. And also big thanks to Aaron Gunn. He is the one who helped me get this. He actually had to contact YouTube and wake them up into allowing me to have my play button at, what are we at here, 174,000 subscribers, something like that. Okay, back to dairy though. If we pick something here, let's go with milk. And we've got concentrated, dried, powdered, or other. We'll go other, sweetened, or other, less than 1%, greater than 1%, and less than 6%. And then you can see here, so this would be like 2% milk or anything in the middle there. So we've got milk or cream, not concentrated, exceeding 1%, but not 6%. So the average 2% milk you'd have in the grocery store. And then it has within access limit, which is so low that no American company would ever sell the milk because almost nothing. You can see a duty 7.5%. But when you go over access commitment, you've got 241%. This is what the Americans are complaining about. These are ridiculous tariffs. And Donald Trump just called out Mark Carney to his face on exactly this. If you go through the different dairy items, you'll find some of them up to 400%.
Other countries, as you know, have used them against us, but we never chose to use them very much, and we should have. And it's made a big difference. Our country is thriving. I think we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
This is quite something. You know, they I don't know if they intended to sit these guys straight across from each other. Carney could have been sitting over here, but he's literally the chair across from Donald Trump. When Carney's leaving here, this is what he had to say.
How was dinner, Prime Minister? You chat with the president at all, sir?
Very good. Had a very good conversation with all the presidents.
He had very good conversations with all presidents. I'm calling bull crap on that. Oh, and here he is arriving in South Korea. Another vacation for his wife. This time she's dressed like a... What, is she wearing a judo gi? It's better than the tablecloth, I'll say that. Yeah, she got a karate outfit on. I don't know. We got this video here. Senator Kennedy in America calling out Mark Carney to drop all tariffs on America.
I don't want to be at war with Canada. I don't want to have a trade war with Canada. I want us to continue to be friends. I made this suggestion to the new Prime Minister of Canada the other day, Prime Minister Carney. I'm going to make it again. And I hope this time he'll take it more seriously. Remember, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to act seriously. If you want respect, you have to act respectfully. Prime Minister Carney, you say that President Trump is not a fair trader. And I understand your point of view. I don't agree with you, but I understand your point of view. You've got to stand up for your people. If Prime Minister Carney, if you believe in free trade, then here's what you do. Make this offer today. Offer to go to zero tariffs in Canada on American goods. No tariffs. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And challenge America to remove all of our tariffs on Canada. So the people of Canada can sell their goods to Americans without a tariff. And the people of America can sell their goods to our friends in Canada without a tariff. Zero tariffs. Let Canadian businesses and American businesses compete. Competition makes all of us better. That's one of the shared values that we have with our friends in Canada.
I fully agree with this message. That's what we should be doing. Not only that, sweeten the deal. Say we'll buy the F-35s. We'll buy more military equipment from America, missile launch system. We'll give access to uranium for America, first right of refusal on a certain mine, a certain area if they want to build their own mine. Set it up so at least half the workers have to be Canadian, the other half can be American. If they want to roll it like that, Canada gets a certain percentage of the profits. Could do that with a couple other critical minerals. Just roll it a big deal like that and remove all the tariffs. There would be a deal. Carney doesn't want the deal. They'll never give up supply management. Nope, our country's going to burn to the ground because of it. Carney doesn't want Canada to win. He wants to win. Trump is helping him get richer on a personal level, which in turn helps America. Carney makes a deal with CCP. One hand feeds the other. Got this post here I thought was interesting. It says, it appears that this is the plan. Table disastrous budget. Non-confidence vote brings down the House. Election wrangling. Liberals blame the crap out of the USA. Canada elects the fifth straight, corrupt, globalist liberal government. Only this time they elect majority and Canada is done. There's a couple points in here. Either Carney gets a deal or he doesn't get a deal during the election, which will tell us a lot about what is going on, who's working with who. Are Carney and Trump really separated from each other? Do they know each other? Was there a plan to work together from the start? Because Donald Trump knows Bruce Flatt from back in the day. Brookfield, they just signed that deal. So there's that huge connection there. Obviously, Mark Carney, chair of that company before being prime minister. So we don't know exactly what's going on, but time will tell us. Got this one here from Blacklock's reporter. Over 130 paintings, sculptures, and other pieces of art have disappeared from a multi-million-dollar federal art collection overseen by the Liberal Indigenous Relations Minister, Rebecca Alty. Poof, it's gone. Where did it go? Nobody knows. There's not just people's houses being robbed. Now it's federal Indigenous art collections are being stolen. Got this one going around. So Dr. Heidi Fry, Liberal, posted this ridiculous statement. Oh my God, CPC just defended their voting against a national school food program by saying that parents would prefer to feed their kids themselves rather than have government feed them. The logic here? What a dumb statement. So she since deleted this tweet because she got ridiculously ratioed. The answer is yeah, parents should be able to feed their kids. It shouldn't be too expensive that we rely on schools to feed children. Moving ahead, we've got Pleb posting this one. We've got a Toronto newcomer here teaching people how to rip off the TTC. Instead of paying $4, paying 10 cents. So it looks like he's jamming a couple of 5-cent pieces together. I guess he's jamming it thick enough together that it seems like it's a loonie or a toonie or something. This is disgraceful. Deport. Meanwhile, in Ireland, we have a situation here where there's a migrant hotel and one of these migrants R-word a 10-year-old child. And now you have the citizens of Ireland, like 1,000 plus of them, protesting, and now they got the police outside the migrant hotel protecting the town grapist here. So what they're doing here is firing fireworks right at them. Wow. This is wild. They're not having it out here. So at one point, the people of Ireland brought in some horses to like intimidate the cops. What do we got in a Freshco grocery store in Brampton? Yep. Alrighty. What do we have? Bunch of illegal fireworks? The Grim Reaper? Yeah, okay. Yep. Alrighty. You know what's gonna happen here? There's going to be a bunch of garbage everywhere and nobody's going to clean it up. And to round out this episode, we've got a jewelry store gangster. This one with a pickaxe. I think that's a first. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. This guy has a pickaxe. Who brings a pickaxe to rob a jewelry store? I've seen it all.